to make a commentary on our coach, Mario Cristobal. I am a supporter and a detractor of his, but I am firmly behind him. I can honestly tell you I'm an advocate of Cristobal from day one. I want this to work with him more than anybody else. Couple of things. Regardless if Miami makes the playoffs or not, you know what? That's out of our control. What I saw last week was a playoff team that is ascending. With that said, this is what I want. In 10 to 15 years, as Mario and Miami has won their third and fourth national championship, and he writes a best-selling book, I need the opening of that book to read like this. On November 1st, 2025, coming out of Ford Stadium, that day I became a better coach. ... That has to be the turning point for his whole philosophy on football, or at least an altering of it, because that game and though his approach can never be replicated ever again. And I say this with all seriousness. That particular game has to be his 87 Fiesta Bowl for Jimmy Johnson. That game can never leave him. It has to be in the back of his mind. He has to be obsessed with that game where all throughout the year, and I told this to someone in the building, I said, I would force Mario to have a meeting about that game every week this offseason before spring ball. Talk about the situations, the game plan, certain decisions I made, the timeouts I took. Just really study that game meticulously and say, God, that we're not doing that again. We're not doing that again. That'll never happen again. Because as I've said, I thought it was one of the worst managed games I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever been so angry at a coach coming out of a stadium as I was that. I was in a trance, but he got better from it. But that game has to be a point where he says, okay, we're going to change things. We're going to be a little bit more up-tempo. We're going to be more fun. We're going to be entertaining. We're going to try to score points. We're going to move this thing forward. And to his credit, and you could say it's a game late, because that's what I think, he's done it. This has to be a continuum of that process going into the 2026 season and beyond. Now, on the flip side, as we're watching the saga of all these coaches changing jobs, all of the drama. By the way, how would you like to be the Peter Oriz and Danny Money talking about the Penn State recruiting class? Oof. Wow. It's almost like they put themselves on death penalty with the firing of James Franklin, who, by the way, is already off to a very good start at Va-Tech. Shout out to him. Great job there. But at the same time, with everything that I've said about Cristobal, boy, we're lucky to have him. We are lucky to have him because finally we have a coach of high caliber that actually wants to be at Miami for the rest of his coaching life. We've never had a Bobby Bowden. We've never had a Joe Paul. We've never had a Tom Osborne. Now we have our chance with this guy. And when you are a college football fanatic and you live and die with the team, 12 months, 365 days out of the year, one of the great things is when you have a coach that's doing a good job, the greatest security is when you lay your head on that pillow, you're like, big day tomorrow. Got a lot of things to do, but you think, got a football coach. We're good. We're good. We're lucky to have him. Mario, we want this to work with you. Just continue to evolve and adapt. We're going to be okay.